I definitely don't have the guts to do it. If I was ever in the position to do it here, but this is definitely very, very interesting, and now I have to ask this question more to people I know when they get married and ask what they did to propose. Being a guy, we're always in a position to ask the lady this question, pop the question here, but this person vlog number 84, I was going to talk about guys that propose at sport events here, and being a sports fan, and I've been to many, many sport events, obviously, at various, games, both football, hockey, and even lacrosse here, that I've seen it happen, where somebody asks their significant other to marriage, proposing at a sport event there. Definitely do not have the guts to ask that question to my lady. I'm happily single, and I don't think I ever am going to get married to even worry about asking this question to somebody. However, I'm definitely not going to ask someone that question at a sport event there. The old cliche, there's a kiss cam, or obviously you gotta have to think it's set up and say, hey, contact the team or birthday wish or whatever, saying, I sit here. I'm going to ask my fiance, or hopefully my fiance, I'm going to ask her to marry me. Because you're not just going to suddenly buy a very, very expensive engagement ring, take it with you to the game, and just think, maybe they'll show us. I'll ask that question. It's set up here, but it's always that same answer. You see the guy go on the knee, pull up the box of the ring, the lady's like, and then eventually, I have not been to a sporting event myself where she did that and then said no. And I know a lot of times, she starts crying and gets cold. Well, oh shit, that's always a big question, regardless if you're asking it alone somewhere or at a sporting event where you potentially got over 20,000 people, or maybe 50, 60, 70,000 people if you're at a bigger game like at a football game. But it definitely takes a lot of guts there. I don't know if this is kind of a rant, but it just still kind of seems stupid at the same time. And I just, out of curiosity, I looked up various sites about what to do to try to propose to a woman there, and they tend to say things that women generally don't like it when you put that much pressure on them to ask them a question. I had some discussion just with some ladies that I know that have got married and recently or been engaged, and I always have to ask them, what do they do? And then I always have to ask, now let's be hypothetical here. Now if he asked you that question at a sport event, what would you say? And, some would say, I'll still do that same reaction, that reaction that women do when you ask them just that question, just one question about, want to spend the rest of my life with me and wear, a metal ring with some rocks on it, spend time with me, maybe, build a life, family, just one question. They would still say yes, or others would say, oh, well, I'd say yes, but I'd be mad. But I've seen it many times, and then all the fans around me said, well, if you're going to do that, you're very damn well sure she's going to say yes. Yeah, but that's definitely not the way to do it. And, I see many articles, if you Google, proposing to someone, and, just kind of a subtle way, especially if you're doing an activity together that you want to do, or, but I like that part where it says, women just generally don't like to, have that much pressure on them, and I don't know, maybe it takes a special someone who knows that would like that spotlight to be asked that question at a sporting event. But that's the cliche, kiss cam or birthday wishes or whatever, where that question gets asked, especially every stadium now pretty much has some kind of Jumbotron or video screen where fans interact and do their silly things here. But I know that another way that I saw someone propose to someone at a sporting event here, that didn't require Jumbotron, but I can only imagine how much this would cost. But you don't see it as much now today. But I was at a football game at Man Stadium. We have an outdoor stadium here. Those planes, the small planes that pulls like a banner when it goes fast enough, and then you put whatever on it there. I did remember being at a football game a few years ago that it circled around the stadium a few times. That had lady's name, and it says, "Will you marry me?" I don't know how that will work too, and I wasn't near the area where where it happened there, but I can only imagine what that's like. It's like, hey, lady, I don't know what her name was, but what I'm trying to say is, I was like, yeah, just look up there, I don't know. I think that would be just as awkward too, but yeah, that'd be probably very, very expensive to spend on that. However you see, I already spent my money on the ring, but then spend probably, even more of that to rent a plane and have someone fly over, the stadium at a certain time and put that banner. And also, you just hopefully everything is spelled right too. Because that would definitely, but I'm just saying, I don't have the guts myself to do it there. My luck would be is that I would know someone well, and if I were to do it, my luck would be I would be the idiot that you would say no to. And I'm just being hypothetical here. Let's say if I picked a really, really big game here, and I'll definitely be torn if I look back on it in memory. Let's just say if I did it myself, where I asked her, let's say I had a Grey Cup and Calgary played and won, or let's say, for some reason I was able to go to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals and the Calgary Flames were in it and we finally won the Stanley Cup, I'd definitely be torn to look back and say, yeah, I was happy that my team won the championship, but my lady said no when I asked her at the sporting event if she wanted to marry me. I do not think I'll ever be in a position to be with someone and ask that big question here, but I definitely do not have the guts to do a sporting event. But I would love to ever meet someone that got proposed to at a sporting event, and I just wonder what you say. You say, yeah, that was great. He asked me at a sporting event, and there was over 20,000 people, and it was just great. He went on his knee, and we were on the big screen, and he asked me, and I just would like the story. If I ever met someone that eventually got married, or maybe not, and found another way because she was asked at a sporting event. That's kind of my bucket list life experience. I want to find a woman that got married and got asked that question at a sporting event, and I just want to know what her story would be like. I just know it's always the same reaction where you hear other fans say, well, if you're going to do that, you better make damn well sure it's just going to say yes. But and I just love researching the articles, and they say that women generally don't like that much pressure on them to be asked that question. But I'll never see it again here. Whenever we get back to going to sporting events again, but I'm not going to do it. Don't worry if that special someone was watching this and in the past or whenever, and don't worry, I'm not going to be that guy that's going to ask you for marriage at a sporting event here. Being a big sports fan, that's definitely one thing I do not want to do, and I give you my luck. That's what would happen. I will make for the biggest game ever, my team in the championship, and I'd be torn to look back at that event. I'm being hypothetical here, obviously. That, yay, it was great, my team won the championship, but my lady said no to me when I asked her to marry me at that game. I don't know. I just like to know what comes to that idea to ask at a sporting event there. I know I was just browsing around on Twitter. This was kind of at a sporting event, but it wasn't in that playing around the stadium or on the big screen, and suddenly the needle comes down, the box comes out, and the ring comes out, and the lady does that thing that they do. But I just saw a live video, and I think it was like a Minnesota Vikings game, and there was a couple that go to the Vikings games, and it was just in the concourse though, and there was like a video capture, and the guy was asking, the lady to marry, and she was definitely sounding extra emotional and sad. Like she was so happy that, she was asked, and she's like, yes. See, I wouldn't even do that. I can't even do that. I don't know. It's just, there's just too many strangers and no one's in that extra pressure. I would feel that extra pressure, I think, regardless. If I was in that position to ask someone, I don't think I ever will be, but you never know. There's lots of unknowns here, and, I've been hearing that for years. People say, when I say I'm happily single, I don't think I ever get married, and everyone says, in a couple of years, you're going to, you're going to announce you're going to get married. Well, I mean, it would definitely be a huge shock if I did, but I've been hearing that for years, and now those years have been decades, so, I'm not doing this as a plea. This is my personal talking about pros at sport events, but I'll never do it, but I still kind of enjoy somewhat seeing it, other people doing it, and hearing all those, you better make that one sure she says yes, or, I haven't been at one yet, where she's like, oh, at least I don't remember. I haven't been at one yet where she says no and she runs away, but, I ask other people I know that the others say, oh, I'd still say yes, or others say, I'd say yes, but I'd be mad. But I still really want to meet someone that did that and just share their story. But who knows? Maybe in the comments you have a story to share about being asked. If you asked the lady, or if the lady asked, yeah, he asked me at a sporting event. It was great. I was nervous as heck, and it was a big championship game. But he asked me to marry him, and it was on the big screen and fans around me. So yeah, I'll just leave it at that for proposing sporting events here. So as I say, if you want to follow along with this Calgary sports fans journey, home of the Flames, Hitmen, Roughnecks, and Stampeders, you know what you need to do. Just make sure you hit like, subscribe. I mostly do Calgary sports, talk sports about the actual games or stories that happen on the field or on the ice or whatever. Not, if someone, proposed at a game. Maybe I'll throw that in on game recaps whenever we play games again, if I was at that said game, but, just put it in respect. But I also do personal vlogs where I talk about anything that's in my mind, like a video like this, and I also do some attempt at comedy, and I also share my experiences. Let's say I'm on the road, or at a said sporting event here, but, you never know when those moments happen, so I'll never capture someone proposing at a game there to add even more pressure and nerves into the thing, and it just wouldn't be the same video quality there. So you know what you do, just make sure you hit like, subscribe. I also have my other social media links down in the description below here, so don't worry. I definitely don't have the guts myself to ask a lady, especially someone, if there ever is one in my life at a sporting event. I'll be nervous as heck just to ask her, in the comforts of whatever setting, alone, never mind in front of, 20, 30, 40, 50, or 60,000 fans, or maybe if it was even a really, really big event, 100,000 fans, but I don't have the guts to do that. So, as I say, I'll see you in the next video here.